DXP Diecast Racing, right in the middle of the calibration. Let me show you what we're calibrating now. The 39 to 30 gram cars. I've already started. Join me here for a few minutes. Let's see what we got. Mustang Mach 1. This is from the Flying Color series from a few years ago. This is how we're doing it. In case you didn't see the earlier video, we are only using one lane, lane number 1 over here, taking them down 5 different times, averaging the times. Here we go. How y'all doing today? It's gonna be hard to see with that door. 198. It's a good time. Good time right there. This car right here has it's never been sent out anywhere that I know of, but it is a good running car. I did send it to, well, I didn't send it for a race, but I sent it up to Your Nightmare Racing, 195. And it did really well up there on his track. A little over a year ago, I would say. He took real good care of it. It was a good thing to do. Channel versus channel. Haven't seen very much of him lately. Busy with life. 194. That's the way it happens, though. Get a whole lot busy with life. Even I do that. Sometimes you just got to step back a little bit, refocus, and start all over. 196. This car is good. One thing I have found that that lane is, or the start gate is running very, very consistent. More consistent than anything I've ever had, which I'm pretty excited about. If I can get the other lane running like this lane, we're going to be in business. Ooh, 202. Bad go right there, buddy. Had him a bad run, but it's still not far off. Still not far off. When I set this car out, this car right here was a really good runner for this class. I don't know why. Nothing special about it. A little Halloween series, but at what 4.2 ran really good for a while. It ain't running great now though. 236. Of course, learning these times are not going to be anywhere close to my top times. Not with the way those top times are running. Some of these cars on the seamless track just take to it better than others. They're not all going to be super fast. 231. I am learning. That's probably why some of these cars do not fare so well at other places, because they were running on seamless and they just don't like the seamless as much as some of the others. And also because some guys are just got a lot of really fast cars. So you got to deal with that too. But hopefully this is going to get me closer to being in the ballpark. I hope. Because sometimes I think I'm pretty close, and then sometimes I'm not close, and I want to be more than close. So I got to find out which cars to send when I do all this testing. No fun to be doing a lot of testing and it not showing the results that you want it to show. Of course, then again, like I said, sometimes some people just have faster cars than you do, and that's just part of it. Some people know how to work the cars a little bit better than you do. So it's all about the competition, though. Trying to get in there and stay competitive with all these guys, because it's not getting any easier. I can tell you that right now. You better be working these cars and working them good. There's a high roller right here. Came out a couple years ago. Now, I chose to film this class because a lot of people have cars from this weight class, because it's what Hot Wheels seems to like a whole lot right now. 237. Nothing's going to be extremely fast, but this is what you're dealing with when you're dealing with cars from right now. I got a few cars that you could find on the shelves, or real recently. This car right here was from, I believe it was from 2 or 3 years ago. These high rollers are they're not bad cars at all for drag racing. I don't know how they do in other things like open track. Just don't think these wheels, when you get these wheels that are open like this, do extremely well in open track. Too many things can happen with them. 232. I mean, you get those open track open wheel cars, they can rub up against the side. Other cars tend to bounce on them, and I don't know. I just don't think they're the best. They're interesting. I mean, you get something like those Fords with the open wheel. But anyway, my opinion, for what it matters, it may not matter very much at all. But we're just doing a little bit of running, a little bit of talking, letting you see some of these cars go down a couple of times. 232. Pretty day out here in the 60s. Won't stay that way, not this time of year. Not in Tennessee. I'll tell you one thing, the weather changes quick down here. There's an FTE Stalker. One of the few FTEs I have out here. And I have raced a bunch of them. I think when you first get into racing diecast cars, and you find out about something called an FTE, faster than ever, I think you kind of get drawn to them. I mean, they do look good. I do like the gold 5 spokes. I mean, it's eye-catching anyway. And you find out they got nickel-plated axles and the potential for them to be fast. And then they get kind of sought after. But I'm going to tell you, they're not always faster than ever. In fact, a lot of times I have found there, a little piece of debris right there, if I can get it off. Well, I can't get it off. There we go. A lot of times they tend to disappoint. But you can find good ones. When you find good ones, they are good. Usually. I mean, for stock. Some people use them for mods. I mean, if you got a good set of wheels, you just want to keep them spinning, I guess they're okay. I don't think I've made but maybe 1 or 2 mods with FTEs, and I have learned that I can make them just as quick, or most of the time a lot quicker with other axles. But it's okay. It's all a learning curve, and I like racing them because I like kind of showing people that they're not the end all be all. But like I said, when you first start out and you see them, you kind of like drawn to them because of what they're supposed to be. Here's a Corvette right here. This is a Kenner version of the Corvette. These cars came out in I think they came out in the early 80s. I mean, early 80s. They didn't stay around very long. I've never looked it up to see how long they stayed around, but I don't believe they were, I think maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe. maybe longer. I don't know, 211. I don't remember seeing them very long. Remember, came out, what was it? Maybe, I want to date myself here. Yeah, I'm an older fella. I'm not a young guy like some of these guys. Maybe they were out, 211 again. Return of the Jedi, maybe Empire Strikes Back, something like that. Those type years. I can't remember. Maybe they came out earlier and I just don't remember it. That's possible too. I know I liked diecast cars back then. That's where I got several of them. But I didn't buy them like I buy them now. I've got got more of them now than I've ever had. And there, very few of them are new. I've been given some that I really appreciate that are in great shape. But hard to find these cars in good condition unless you just have some good friends that will give you some every once in a while. There's a Probe. This car's been in my ranks for a long time. This is a Matchbox Probe, Ford Probe. It's got the crazy gold wheels back from, I think those are from the 90s. 227. It's never been a top car, but it's always been a good car. I don't know what it's going to do on this track. I bought some Ford Probes a couple years ago, and you know what? I've never raced them. I don't know why. I just never have. 227. It's got a goofy looking paint job. I don't know why Matchbox decided to put that color scheme on there, but it's one of those, I don't know, I call it a late 80s, early 90s type color scheme. 227 again. Man, that's 3 in a row. 3 in a row with 227. See, man, this track's running pretty good. Not every car. I mean, you're going to expect some variation just because of the shimmy down the track, but everything seems to be going fairly well right now. 226. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to complain. Not going to complain at all about how that lane is running. It's got a few bumps in it. We'll work those out here. I think time is the key for that. 227. So this thing right here ran in 5 passes. It ran 227, 227, 227, 226, and 227. That is consistency, folks. That is consistency. There's the Evo. Everybody loves the Evo. This is a color changing Evo right here. It's my fastest Evo, even though I have not tested them by a ton of them. Not my favorite car, to tell you the truth. I know people will crucify me for that. They're great to mod. They're big. You can put a lot of weight in there. People like them. People win all the time with them. But man, get tired of seeing them. But if you want to win, who cares what the car is if you're winning? I mean, it is what it is. Still, I don't know why they went brown. I know it's a color changer and it'll change colors, but why brown? I don't know. Not a big fan. I don't know if I've got another one of these or not, to tell you the truth. These are hard to find. Scalpers in my area really, really suck up the JDMs and anything that's anything that's halfway good, they like them. And I, on record, am not a big JDM fan. I mean, they're all right. Some of them are better than others. But overall, I like the muscle cars, and I like the cars that usually aren't fast on the track, like the Lamborghinis. I like the faster cars, the hypercars. But like I said, they're usually not the fast ones on the track, and because they're low down to the track, and they usually don't have a whole lot of room for weight. Can't mod very many. Let's go to this Torino right here. It's a Torino. It's in bad shape paint-wise, but it's a decent runner. Oh, I'd love to find some more of those. Love to find some more of those. I know they make them in yellow and red. I've got some black wall ones, but I don't have GHO version like this one. And that is the one I want. This version right here. These things go pretty good price. Pretty good. I've seen a couple at shows. Some of them I just couldn't afford if I wanted to. Well, I could, but then I wouldn't be able to get anything else. So I look for those too. I'm imagining quite a few of you do. It's got a long wheelbase. It's a pretty car. Pretty car. But finding them seems to be, 218, seems to be the harder thing to do right now. Again, you're looking at a car that was early 80s right there. And like I said, this one does not have the pretty paint job, but most of my cars don't. I find them at antique malls and secondhand stores and flea markets and diecast shows and people that have had them in collections all over. And you get what you get. A lot of these cars got, they call them flea bites, tick marks on them. But a lot of times these cars really run good if they've been kept halfway decent. Many a car I have bought that has been used and run a lot better than the ones out of the package. I'm sorry, it's true. True statement. All right, let's do some skipping here. We've seen these things all over the place. Here, this guy right here. I almost sent this to Low Country Diecast Racing League for their modern muscle because it's a good runner. Obviously, it's up there in the ranks. I don't know what it'll do on this track. 2249, not good. Not good at all. Well, maybe I'm glad I didn't send it. But the ones that I did send aren't necessarily faring the best either. And I'll just let you know, I tested a bunch. I've since found a bunch more that I didn't test. But I did test a bunch. So, if you are out there and you rank higher than I do in the final standings, win the thing, because I don't think I'm going to come close to winning. Congratulations. Because I did test for that race quite a bit. Because I had a whole bunch of these cars. I think I tested like 170 of those cars. I think is what I tested. And so if you got faster ones than I've got, congratulations. Because I tried real hard with what I had. I opened up a few, but nothing was, you know, blowing me out of the water. I had one car when I tested. And when I first tested, the very first time I dusted it up, it was running ridiculous times. I mean, ridiculous times. And I tested it again and it got a little bit slower. Still in my top cars, but it was a little bit slower. What did I run here? Pardon me. 231. But it got slower and slower and slower and slower. So, let's try this one right here. FTE, I almost sent this one in. This one right here was a good running car. CR1, green FTE. It was pretty consistent. Man, I hate that door. You'd stay over there, out of the way. See if this one will run any better. Oh, one of my few mess ups. It's all right. When this thing does a little bit of bouncing, it's resetting it right here. I know I got a mess up. Happens every so often. I'm gonna fix that. That seems to be something that's bothering me a little bit. 238. 238. Let's see if it'll get faster as we go. It was, it ended up being, I think it was in my top 8 when I was picking them out. 235. But did not fit the bill. The cars that don't seem to be faring very well at LCDRL are the ones that were doing really good. Those purple Challengers that I sent in were, man, they think they were top 4 every time I would knock some out. They were definitely consistent. But to get over there to that track, and for some reason, they're not running like they were over here. But, like I was saying earlier, that's why we were going to this type track right here. Was that 233? So we could kind of get a better idea of what we need. I think that sharp descent in the transition point, I think those cars are dragging just a hair. Is what I think. Maybe they're not, but I think they are because they sure are not acting like they were here at all. 234. You can see this car right here. This is pretty consistent. See, it was a 238 down to 233. Only 5 thousandths between 5 runs. Pretty good, pretty good. This car right here. In fact, I think it's out here. No, it's not even out here. I almost sent that one in, that one in, that one in, and that one in. But then I didn't. So I got another car somewhere. Let's see, what else do y'all want to see? Y'all can't hear me. So what do y'all want to see? Here, let's try one that's on the shelves right now. You can find this one. It's Ford Lightning. Let's see what it does. Kind of curious. It's got that low piece of plastic on it, but it's got pretty good clearance. Pretty good clearance. It may run like a slug on this track. 47. So if we can find it on here. Let's see here. There it is. 247. Yeah, it may run, these cars may run terrible on this type of track. I don't know. We're gonna learn. It's a learning process. Racing is a learning process. 240, a little bit better. It is definitely a learning process. Pretty car though. Is this supposed to be the, I think this is supposed to be like the electric version? Psh, really? I'm all for the environment, but man, Really gonna plug in a truck? I don't know about that. You ain't pulling no boat with that thing. Not any big boat. Not for a long distance anyway. And I don't know how you could do it. Gotta stop and plug them in somewhere. I don't know. I know some of y'all may have a hybrid vehicle or an electric vehicle. I'm not downing them. I mean, heck, don't have to pay for gas, and you don't have to pay for oil changes and all that kind of stuff. But man, those batteries, don't want to have to change them batteries, but an electric truck, I mean, if I was going to go down and fish somewhere, say I was going to pull a big old bass boat that weighs 20,000 pounds, that electric vehicle, and I'm going to take it down to, I don't know, take it down there to Alabama somewhere and fish. What in the world? Let's see. Here, this is always a fun blue. You find this on the shelves too. I know a lot of people laugh at me. You got your lightning bug, don't you? Got your lightning bug. Yeah, I got me a lightning bug. It's not going to set any kind of record speed. There's my timer again, doing its thing. But it's not a bad car. It really is not. It's got that metal base. Not a bad car. I mean, there's a whole lot worse out there. $249. I'm trying to keep all these cars. I want everything to be under a 250 out here at least. Trying to. So far, I think all my heavier classes are definitely. And the ones in the case up there, I want them under a 2.2. That's my goal. That's my goal. I hope I didn't offend anybody with my electric car comment, but I mean, I can't say anything. Some people in my family got an electric car, so. But I'm an old gas guzzler. I'm old school. Got the old Ram out here, the big Hemi in it. It'll pull that boat to Alabama. It may cost me an arm and a leg, but it'll pull it down there. 239. Getting a little bit faster. Kind of my first love. You can tell I like to fish. I like to fish a lot. I like to fish a whole lot. That's my passion right there. This is a fun hobby. Keeps me out of trouble. 241, and I enjoy it. And I enjoy meeting everybody that I've met. A lot of good guys in this crazy thing here. Let's do one more. Let's go old school. Let's do this unobtainium. Before I go, this will be the last car I run probably. Just let y'all know, man, it's smooth. 226. 226. Everybody has their thing. Spring, I like to fish. I like to fish any time of year, to tell you the truth. I just don't get to as much as I want to. Run these cars quite a bit. It's a lot of fun. You got the time. You better have the money too, because it ain't cheap. If you want to be competitive, it ain't cheap. That's a lot of fun. But at least the cars I'm looking for are not like those red line club cars and all those rubber tire cars. $7, $8 a pop. 226. I know a lot of y'all out there do that, and that's fine. I'm not downing you. I'm just saying that's not what I do. When I go to the show, I'm the oddball. Everybody's talking about those supers and treasure hunts and red line club cars. And I'm over there going, got any of them dollar funny cars anywhere? Usually they're trying to get rid of that stuff. They want the high-end stuff. Little do they know, for a diecast racer, that is the high-end stuff. You can get some expensive race cars, don't get me wrong. 226. Here, let me show you this, because this is probably going to be the last video I'll make before we get the calibration done. Over here, currently, top 48. Currently, there's this guy right here. Y'all may recognize that one. If you follow Diecast Racing, I'll show you. Put him down the track a couple of times, show you what he's running on this new seamless 2187. Nothing eye-shattering, but that's still a good run. That's a solid run compared to where we were just a few minutes ago. 2190. He's falling off the mark just a hair. Let me show you my number one. This is my new number one right here. Silver Bullet. That is a Malaysia-based Silver Bullet. Let's see if he'll act right for the camera. I don't know if he will or not. Ultra hot. Let's see if he acts right. Smooth. 2185. He ain't doing what he did yesterday. Let's try him again. That's probably that was probably the slowest run that car has made in the past 10 passes. I'm telling you. .2181. Yeah, he's not doing what he was doing yesterday. He's running 216s yesterday. But he ain't doing it today. Try him one more time. We'll put him up. He may not stay number one long. Who knows? Man, he's quick. 2186. Nope. He's not going to be like he was yesterday. That's all right. That's all right. Right now, he's number one. I'm sure these will move. Got some potential cars to go to Mr. Robin Commotion Diecast here. Got a few right there in that top 12 to look at. But anyway, this is what we're doing. We're back over here, 39 to 30. We'll get it all taken care of. DXP Diecast Racing. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking around, talking with me a little bit. Leave some comments, subscribe, like. Get me up over, what is it, 800? Am I looking to get over 800? Looking to get over 900? I don't know. If you want to. If you don't want to, don't. Whatever you want to do. I don't really care. I'm pretty happy. But if you want to, make me even happier. Just joking. DXP, Diecast Racing. See you on the track.